guys, good night. Welcome to another live show. Well, a show that you have all been looking forward to because we have been missing for a long while. And as we told you, it was because of some technical difficulties beyond our control. It was our internet provider problem. However, let me make this clear. Yo, we have a producer, yes, brother. I know I have to give the man full ratings. The man worked double time, overtime, triple time to make this possible. Yo, Joshka, big up yourself, brother, because if I never you, this would not happen. Yo, suppose and see how the man go.
You see him
And
got flow.
brother, the man there flow for at least 2 weeks straight. Man living a flow skin, brother, until them finally decide say, yeah, they have to change it out because they might tell you a lot of crap about they might change out the system, so they have to change out the entire modem settings so we to use me. So that's why it takes so long to well. As I can see, we get that started, and again, big up to our producer Josh Carl for working assiduously over time to get this
Straight,
possible.
straight, straight,
So,
straight.
with that being said, we are here now, guys, and welcome to all our viewers that are on board. And so we have the CEO in place tonight. Can't sound down to the man himself. Big up to our sponsor, Let's
Yeah.
Care Medical, and its CEO, Shaky Shakes.
Big up, shakes.
Blessings, boss man, because
Right,
you're the
right.
first man
Yeah,
decide to jump on board to the thing. So, respect for that, fam.
of his support, really, you know?
Tell them no man. Alright, with that being said now, Demo is just roaring to go about this West Indies team for I don't know what reason.
Nemo will have
Because
the entire floor.
there is absolutely nothing to speak about in this match.
I agree.
West
Yeah.
Indies 122 all out in 32.2 overs. And let's point out that Shakib Al Hassan, boy, listen to this 7.2 overs, 2 maiden, 4 wickets for 8 runs. Demo, man, you alone talk about this because I'm interested in this in the boss, man.
No, so, alright, so good night, everybody. Big up on yourself. Welcome back. Yo, I miss you, I miss you. I'm not gonna either talk or miss you. But here's the thing. Liverpool struggling. I don't have a lot of time here tonight. And I just wanted to pass you because we just had the West Indies team playing cricket. So we as West Indies fans, we have to come and talk about it a bit. I mean, we represent, we still love. It's a love-hate relationship that the Caribbean people have with West Indies, and we cannot deny, right? So here's the thing: we went there with a depleted ODI squad. I'm not gonna say the test squad depleted that much because I think that probably 80% of the senior guys are there for the test team. So I expect them to do well. But that was like a pickup team. And I can tell you this: the team of me play for New York in a cricket can play against that West Indies team and beat them. I can tell you that. Because that same Nkuma Banner, he was just here the other day playing cricket in the league over there. Now. So I speak facts. But anyway, to the game. I think we can find positives. Hussein is a positive. He got 3 wickets for a little bit of runs in the bowling department, and he was a standout. I thought Alzari Joseph bowled well. I thought he relished the chance of being that lead of the bowling attack. Because a lot of
Point
times,
out without Jason Holder around.
exactly, he was the leader, and Jason Holder wasn't there to give him the ball when nothing happened and fourth change and all of that nonsense. He actually got the new ball and he bowled well. Or batting though, I think we always thought that we would struggle against spin, but the seamers of Bangladesh did very well. That debutant, I forgot his name. I think he got 3 wickets, and it's like it was men against boys, and I don't understand.
Hassan Mahmood.
Mahmood, yeah, like he came and we expected spin to do most of the damage, and Bangladesh came in there with 3 seamers and 2 spinners, and it just did the damage. Again, Kyle Myers or Mayers, however you pronounce it, he was a positive, and 40 runs is not really for brag about, but I mean he stood out, and I'm glad that some little bit of things can come out of it. But the bowlers for me was the exception. And remember, I have to defend myself, because I came here and I told you guys that West Indies will win this series 2-1. So I have to show my face when West Indies play. Come
So
put
I'm
my
asking
neck
you a
on the line.
question, boss man. Are you still sticking by that prediction?
Yeah, no, without a doubt, without a doubt. I just think the guys need to step up and bat properly because the bowling seem to be coming together.
And in terms of that, the only standout to me in this match was actually Akil Hussain, and the captain himself did decent, but Akil Hussain had 10 overs and took 3 wickets for 26 runs on debut.
Yeah, that
And
must
the,
say
cap-
insane.
and the captain himself had 8 overs, 1 for 19.
He didn't bowl well. Those figures is because Bangladesh wasn't really in a rush to get the total, and them just there prod around like to just because they haven't played cricket for a long time and they wanted time in the middle, so they weren't rushing to get the score. So him figures deceive him.
Alright, remember that we always keep our commenters engaging. And here's Anthony Butler saying, seriously though, I wanted these set of players to do extremely well so that it would send a message to those other players that they are not indispensable.
Boy, from
Yeah,
that
so
performance, it no give no hope. Apart from Hussein, it no give no hope for anybody else.
Well, as
so
far
you
as we know,
see,
alright, go
oh,
ahead,
go ahead.
Shakes.
Yeah. No, I was just making a comment based on the comment from Anthony there, in relation to the players in the West Indies. Now, I just going to drift off a little to the Australia-India series, and we're going to show you the difference in quality, right? And when I say quality, you don't need to be a world beater, but at least you should be able to represent your country. You should be able to represent your region, West Indies. Now, when these players come in, they are at home. They are in the Big Bash playing right now. Some are for personal reasons. You see, when they look and see these performances, you know what they say to themselves and their wives and their girlfriends and the other man them? Oh, but yo, our place secured forever. It don't really matter what we do because guess
Yeah.
what? When you look on it, this morning cause I never watched the game, I'll be
Well, alright,
honest.
Shakes, hold
But
on a second.
when I looked on it,
Shakes,
yeah.
where did you say that those players are?
No, I'm saying the players they're at home. They're some are in the Big Bash, right? And some are
Which
off a
some?
person. Huh?
Alright, okay. Majority of those players are back in their respective countries playing practice matches.
Yeah, man.
But
For
them did not.
personal reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Continue,
Remember,
man.
it's
Continue.
personal reasons
Just a sugar roll, man. Continue.
they gave personal reasons why they couldn't tour, But I know that really and truly it's actually fed up of the little bit of money that they're getting
Yeah.
for when they went to England and when they went to New Zealand, right? So yeah, you might have a few playing some games, but that is what? That is backyard playing. That is not no serious cricket, right? Because the competition not really there. So
Yeah.
you can see these players and they look on the scorecard, even if them don't watch the game, they realize that the telephone numbers is dialing them friends, right?
Yeah. True.
They can compete with the players, and it's not like the players in the West Indies team, in the ODI team, because for me, the ODI team is the worst of the three versions.
Yeah.
Long time, right? For some strange reason. I've always said that for me, West Indies need to play a 50 over game as a 40 over game. So you try go hard for 30 overs and then you try kill the next 10.
Mm.
Because
But
really,
alright, Shakes, I'm gonna stop in your track right there, so and I'm gonna point out something, and I don't know if you guys agree. Do you think that Ravanpol is a waste of talent? That man has been in the setup
all right. So for me,
from way whenever, and yet still can
Roman Paul
produce
is not
nothing substantial
supposed
to
to
this
be
team.
in any West Indies shirt. Whether
What?
OD,
Shakes, repeat what you just said.
he is not NOT, not supposed to be representing the West Indies right now. You see, when Rahman just came out, he had potential. But I'm sorry, it's just like Shea Hope. Shea Hope has been discarded from the West Indies team because he has not been producing. I can see the persistence. of Rovman Powell in the ODI team or even in the T20 team when he's not using runs on any front.
That's not
He
true.
played,
That's not true.
he
Just let
played,
me say this.
he
Let
played,
me say this.
he
He
played
played.
CPL. He played CPL
Mm-hmm.
other day.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make any runs.
Yeah, but just before the CPL came, he was one of the leading run scorers for the 50 overs game. So he merited his squad. He was probably third in terms of run scoring. He made the fastest 100 in that competition as well. And he
And
led
what was he
Jamaica.
doing? What was he doing before? You know that Rovman Powell has actually been in terrible form for the West Indies for quite some time now.
That's fine. But on merit from the 50 over competition, he cemented his spot in the West Indies team based off of that.
Cemented. You see? So the standards are so low so that a man can literally cement his place in the West Indies by not performing consistently at the international level. That is how low West Indies have fallen.
Yeah, I'm saying there's nobody better they can just replace Rovman Powell with.
No, hold on. I'm not going to disagree with that, But as I said, that is how low the standard is.
Yeah, well,
Because you don't have nobody to really compete for places. So you see,
exactly.
even these players that have come in now, say 2-3 players come in and give me a 40 or at least score a half century, right? There are 2 games to come. All right, perform in the other 2 games. Then all right, then I can say, all right, maybe I can give a one man a look in for the series, and you try to blood a player as each series goes along so that there is competition for places. But if you're giving me telephone numbers, what the selectors going to do?
All right. I'm glad that you touch on that too, Shakes, because all right, it's just like with the India team now. They had a lot of their star players out. They brought in replacement, and guess what? They have a selection headache now because those players that were brought in perform exceptionally well. Washington Sundar, Shardul Thakur, and guess what? They can't drop those men from the squad now. Shubman Gill came in, and guess what? Cemented his spot. Selection
But
headache.
you,
While
you
these
see,
players
let
are
me tell you, there is only one place that I would say they would not. Or no, let me put it this way. For Shubman Gill, he's the only player that I believe they should add to that Indian team. Why? Because India has been inconsistent with an opening pair for quite some time, right? Their bowling attack has been consistent for the longest while. Jasprit Bumrah and Shami, they have been exceptional. If you want to say, okay, maybe you can tweak the third spinner because Yadav, him kind of up and down sometime, right? He's not as consistent as Bumrah or Shami. So really and truly, when you look at the team overall, yeah, the opening spot, Shubman, but for the bowling attack, is only one place up for grabs on that team.
Yeah,
yeah, man, but what I'm saying is that they actually came in and they actually perform, unlike these players that are given the lotto numbers and cashback numbers. That's the difference because Sundar came in and played a match-winning innings.
Well,
But
I must add
all right,
for
Chef.
Vihari, he's the one. Vihari is the one that will be dropped for sure. Because he never performed. And he has been in the Indian team for a couple series now. And I think I think probably Demo can correct me. I think he has like 1 century.
I don't know how much century him have.
Yeah, I think he has 1 century. Yeah.
All right. Demo, you think you're smart though? But just a come for a 15-minute talk about West Indies cricket. You think me no remember you are boost and a hype up about how Liverpool are gonna beat United at Anfield and
who said that?
last man. Remember that I saw your comment to Bones. I wish Bones was here. You tell Bones that he can bet him us on a
So we're not
Liverpool
going
victory.
to lose.
Brother, you tell him and say bet him us on a Liverpool victory.
You need to go back and check the code.
What happened in that match, boss man?
You
Because
need...
I thought you guys would have bombarded and beat up United based on all these Liverpool fans were saying that
I thought
United is just place old and this and that. So nobody come try go around this. What happened? What happened?
First of all, the hype that Manchester United fans had coming to Anfield like them, they're going to topple we and they're going to end this home record, and Liverpool all not special. They're going to attack our makeshift centre backs and all of that. All that energy that they had changed now when they got the draw and say, oh, it's because Liverpool said them they're going to mash with them. No, that's not what it was. You guys away farm was brilliant. You come into Anfield and you were on farm, we weren't on farm. Manchester United were favourites to win that game based off form. Me put my neck on the block and said Liverpool would not lose no home record to Manchester United. There's no way
But I know
Manchester
some can throw that
United
through the window now.
we're not going to beat Liverpool at
But
Anfield. That
alright,
was never
that
going to
farm
happen.
argument, you know some can throw that easily out through the window.
How?
Two big rival teams, brother. Farm go through the door when them two teams play. You know that for a fact.
No, not the way Liverpool playing in this season.
Bro,
No,
come
no,
with
no.
that. No matter how
No,
Liverpool
no,
is
no.
playing, brother, once them two teams face each other, and we can kill the argument easy. Remember, Manchester United have a couple of seasons back were performing very poorly, and yet when they face Liverpool, they tend to up their performance. Otherwise, someone on the beat up them 3-0 at Anfield. Otherwise, from that, United always up their performance. So that argument that just come across, rubbish bin.
All I am saying is form matters. So you can want disclaim it and say throw form out the window for Derby, that's fine. For me, form matters. And our form was horrible leading up to this game. We just beat the kids for Aston Villa. Our form was horrible. So don't tell me say form goes out the window. My thing is you were not going to beat us at Anfield. So we came into that game full of confidence in terms of playing at home and not going to lose. But this Jordan Henderson at centre back thing, I wasn't going to stay here for do this because I'm gonna get upset and start go off tangent. But Jurgen Klopp needs to stop this Jordan Henderson at centre back thing. It defeats the purpose. It gives us two weaknesses. It takes Jordan Henderson from the midfield. That drive that Jordan Henderson gives this Liverpool team is completely gone. And then you put him in centre back where he's not a centre back. He always comes out from his centre back position because he's a midfielder. He's thinking like a midfielder and he's doing midfield tackles outside almost near the half line.
All right. Demo, you knew why Jordan Henderson did not have a rough night, or I should say a rough match, because of Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial lacking intelligence to attack this man directly. They tend to be running off the man's shoulders. For what reason? This man is not a centre back by nature, brother. Attack the man because he's going to fall you.
Exactly.
Look when Cavani came, man. Cavani went and he attacked both Henderson and Fabinho picked up a yellow card from one of those incidents.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Rashford, Dunsness wouldn't be here with you talking about
That's the difference between
if Rashford had just held up his head at that 1 split second and passed the ball to Cavani, argument done.
No, I want to argue football. So, like, if him did do this, if him did do that, man, I understand. If Thiago did kick the ball in a goal,
well, listen, that's the difference.
He kick the ball in the goal with a win.
Demo, don't come with them nonsense, Demo. Let me ask you this question: which of the two teams had the clear-cut opportunities?
Both teams had clear-cut opportunities.
Stop talk foolishness on me, yes, brother. Not do that, man.
Hold on.
Man, not do that.
You see Salah right in front of the goal, kick the ball, and it barely deflect off of Maguire foot and go wide.
Brother,
you forget that? That was like 6 yards, 8 yards.
Oh, okay. You remember that the chance that Paul Pogba had that he kicked straight at Alisson?
Exactly.
Come to win madness, brother.
It's clear-cut.
Demo, you're being very disingenuous.
Shakes, come here now, Shakes.
All right, so I am the unbiased Man U fan here. Let me first state this about Rashford and Martial. That's the difference between a world-class player and a player that just has potential. Rashford and Martial are players that have potential, inexperienced players. So they're not at that high level. So that's why they can't do certain things consistently, right? So that's the first thing. Now, speaking about what Demo just mentioned, for that Liverpool game versus Manchester United, Liverpool, quote unquote, played the better football. 1, they had more possession. 2, however, 3, Man U had the better chances. As simple as that. Man U had the clear-cut chances in that game, right? But Liverpool, quote unquote, played the better football, and they also had more possession. As I said, that's been an unbiased Man U fan.
No, I just want to ask you something, Sheikh. So Liverpool had no clear-cut opportunity.
No, I never said that. I said Manchester United had the better or
Okay.
more
Yeah, but
clear
when
cut
That's
chances.
that's
As
that's
simple
Demo
as
problem.
that.
Demo
but
failed to
when
master the English language
no
just
no
now
no no
because
no
I
no
said
no
to
no
him
That's
no.
that
all I'm
Manchester United
saying.
had the clearer opportunities at
That's
goal. That's
all.
what I said to him,
But
you know.
Liverpool played better in the game. Full stop.
All I said was that both teams had clear-cut opportunities. That's what I said. Both teams.
Both
Una
teams
act
had
like a
clear
Una
cut.
alone did have
No,
opportunity.
But
both
I
teams
ask you,
had
boss man,
clear
which
cut. However, Manchester United had the clearer chances. So
simple
looking
as
through
that.
a glass, Man U, we could see clearer to the goal than Liverpool. Yeah,
That's fine, and the keeper is there to make saves, and the
exactly.
goal
Right?
forcing it
So,
in
so brother,
from the front.
that
That's
was
what
the
the keeper
argument
is
I
there.
just posited to you, and you were there creating one ruckus over it. That's
No,
exactly what I said in a boss man.
no, yes, yeah, that act like say me never have no clear-cut
I
No,
never
no,
said
opportunity.
it.
no. He never
Demo,
said that.
Demo, Demo. I said Manchester United had the clearer opportunities.
Yeah,
That's
man,
what
he
I
never
said,
said that.
boss man.
Well, that's fine. You can say that. But I think Salah's opportunity was clear, and if he just control the ball properly, he would have scored the
Okay, as
goal.
you said, if. Same way you come and
Yeah,
argue it, if.
yeah.
But Shakes, what's the rationale behind this name? Controversial. Liverpool will not finish top four.
Oh boy, you know that I believe that Liverpool,
Like, yo.
Liverpool. Let me tell you, Liverpool need an injection of players right now. Liverpool need an injection of players right now, right? He's right when he says that the fact that Henderson is at the centre back role is helping to kill Liverpool right now, right? Because Henderson has been the focal point for the past 2 seasons in that central midfield role, right? I'm not comparing him to Busquets, guys. So don't think I am, right? But he plays that role where he link passes between the defense and the wings when the fullbacks are not attacking and when Virgil van Dijk is not playing that ball over the top. When he's not doing that, Liverpool have a problem. Our club believes that Thiago coming into the team is the solution to that problem. But I believe that if it were Thiago plus Henderson, Liverpool would be in better stead. So when you look on it, Liverpool, they have not been conceding, Liverpool have conceded few goals since Van Dijk went down. Very few goals. Their defensive record is actually excellent till Virgil van Dijk got that injury in that Everton game.
Yep.
Liverpool has not conceded more than one goal in any match at all since that Everton game. So defense is not their problem, right?
Goal scoring,
Quote
defensive
unquote,
striker.
it is basically up top that is killing them. There is some infighting between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. As simple as
Alright.
that.
One question, Demo. Doesn't it concern you as a Liverpool fan that you have gone over 300 plus minutes without scoring? Ever since that game that you played against Crystal Palace in the league and you beat them by 7-0? Doesn't it concern that you haven't scored since then?
All right. So we just want to address a few things. So this is obviously a concern because we're not scoring goals. The thing about this is that we haven't scored in 3 games straight, but yet still Liverpool has scored the most goal in the season. Right? We're still top scoring in terms of a team. We also have Mo Salah, who is the leading goal scorer with 13 goals this season. So all this infighting and all of that stuff, I don't know when you think it starts, but if it is infighting and he still has 13 goals this season, 5 of which are penalties, keep on fighting because he has scored 13 goals this season. Not only Liverpool's top scorer, but the Premier League's top scorer. And it's not just about penalties because he only scores 5 penalties this season. So my thing is to mention about the defense, because a lot of people there ask, so you bring up the comments, I'm never get for answer it. He said playing I may make this quick. If I wanted to play an inexperienced centre back in a game like Manchester United, me, and I'm addressing Jurgen Klopp and everybody, Jurgen Klopp, I know you watch this. Nat Phillips is supposed to be playing centre back for this team since Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and Matip cannot stay fit. Once they're back, fine, take him out. Nat Phillips has Bundesliga 2 experience, and every game that he has been called upon, he has performed. His debut against Everton, he was man of the match against Richarlison, even though Curtis Jones scored that goal. But he cancelled Richarlison, cancelled Calvert-Lewin, all of them. He's very good in the air. He made his Premier League debut against Hallier and West Ham, and Hallier had to move from him to go to Joe Gomez because he's so good in the air, and he banged him out. And then Newcastle, he didn't have a bad game against Newcastle. Would he concede against Newcastle, or was it 0-0? I remember what it was. Yeah, so Nat Phillips has always performed, and he's just not given the chance, and you're playing Jordan Henderson there to play. So play Nat Phillips at centre-back. He's a natural centre-back. He's used to it. You're going to tell me he's not a ball-playing centre-back and him slow and this and that. But yet still, you play Reece Williams against Son and Harry Kane. How that makes sense? Like, play the youths, and he will get the experience from playing. Right? And that will then free up now Jordan Henderson to make those runs. And I think that is what's going to help with the goal scoring. Thiago and Henderson in midfield. That is what's going to help. And don't think to forget about this Jota thing, you know. You remember from when we say it? And you see it coming back full circle now?
Yeah, I remember that I got a lot of stick for it. Say, oh, Demo, you're being too emotional, you're this and that, and see it?
Exactly. Nonsense game, Diego Jota go play against Michelin. And now we need a Diego Jota to come on. No Diego Jota. And the last thing is, Minamino has scored for Palace in that 7-0 drumming, and you have not seen him since. Why? I don't know. I'm done.
Okay, so we now move on to the Wolves against West Brom fixture that we actually saw West Brom claiming a victory at Wolves home by 3-2. Matheus Pereira with 2 penalties. Chiefs, quick and fast about that.
That game was an exciting game for me. Boy, I never expected West Brom to win that, but I guess they pulled a rabbit out of the hat to win that
then
match.
Then again, Shapes, after you finish your analysis, right, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think is happening to Wolves? Finish up a point.
Yeah, so they pull a rabbit out of the hat to get a victory there. Wolves, well, I was just gonna address Wolves. I guess it's the same question you're asking me.
Yeah, man.
No, Wolves, boy, you know, the fact that Raúl Jiménez is not there, I believe that the coach, quote unquote, does not necessarily know how to set up the team properly, and the players have lost some confidence in him. That is what I get from the play. When you compound it now, the players, every single time they get up to the final third, they're just looking back. There's no focal point. No focal point. So you see, if they could get Diego Costa on a free transfer, that for me would be very ideal.
All right,
because
with
he
that being
could
said,
do
Shakes,
something in that
I can't
game.
stop it right there. They won't get Diego Costa.
He's gone somewhere else.
They're going to sign William Jose from Real Sociedad. That's
Oh well,
basically
I saw
confirmed.
that today, but I wasn't sure if it was final.
Yeah, man, it's basically confirmed.
Yeah, but can he play that Jimenez role?
Similar type player. But if you look at it though, in the Shakes, they are not just struggling up front, you know. They're also conceding a lot.
Yeah, but all right. So you see, defensively, because their forward line is weakened, automatically their gameplay is going to be affected. So their defensive work is going to be hindered. So because they have a less potent attack, it means that the teams they play have more of the ball, have it in dangerous places. They don't have to be concerned with Raúl being on the center backs, right? Because remember, Wolves, you know, for like 2 seasons, Wolves used to score some wicked counter goals, right? But that has not been happening. If you realize, Traore has not been making runs like first time, you know.
Yep.
It's like the man slow down. And why is it you're not crossing the ball again? Why you're not making certain runs on the flank? Because guess what? They just don't have the team to do that anymore. simply because one man not there, and to a lesser extent, Jota is not there also. Jota used to
No, but
be.
Shakes. Remember that to the latter part of last season, no? Jota was mostly playing as a sub.
Yes,
The
I
problem,
know.
the problem, the problem that I realized with Wolves is that from Nuno has switched to this four at the back to accommodate Nelson Semedo. That man who is garbage. Everything just seems to gone AWOL because he has scrapped the three-man defensive system and he has now been playing four at the back. And from
Yeah.
that, it's like everything just keep on
Yeah,
go
but you
down
see,
and downwards.
he has had to change the system because Rahul is not there. So he's just trying something new, to accommodate other players. All right, you see, Fabio Silva would never ever he would never think to put him in his starting 11 if Jimenez was there. Never. But guess what? He's basically forced to do that now. So that's why I say he basically doesn't know his best team because he has to be doing so much tinkering with the team, hoping that a combination works. So it's not that he has lost his ability to coach, But you see, sometimes when a coach don't have the right personnel, it make it look like you just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but just to close off though, you see that thing that you say about the four at the back? Obviously, I don't know, I know Connor Cody for a while because I used to watch him for the under 23s for Liverpool. But he does not function well at a
In a
four
back
at the
four.
back system, in a back four. He does not. And I think that, remember, he has been one of the rock in that defense for them, and that was playing three at the back. So that change, as they say, Levani, I think that really is affecting them as well, along with too much of the burden upon Neto to do all the work. Neto cannot just carry the whole team. And Podence, I think he's coming off the bench because he's tired or he's just rotating.
Remember
But
that he was injured the other day, and so probably just monitoring that a bit.
yeah,
But
so yeah, the major thing though is Jimenez. For me, that I just that and Traore being off form.
alright, so
Massive.
Dima, I know say I have to come make a run still and respect you for passing through, brother. Big up
But if
yourself.
you want to give me a game, me take a game before I'm going, man.
To the YouTube one. So alright. We saw West Ham against Burnley and here comes Mikel Antonio popping up with the winner.
So that game, I thought like some Big Sam, like every time I see Big Sam, I'm like, why Liverpool never beat this team? Everybody else beat the team, but Liverpool could have beat them, and he set out the.
No man, West Ham, not West Brom, you know.
You say West Ham versus West Brom.
Burnley.
Oh, Burnley. Oh, I don't remember the game. They give me the wrong game.
No
So,
man, it was on the 16th, man, when they won 1-0.
yeah, I don't remember that. Too far. But may I go jump off now though?
Anyways, I saw the match and it was expected still that alright, Burnley played decent, but again, they said that they've put 10 man behind the ball and know that they are without the man that would actually go up the field and do something for them. Just never work out. So West Ham sneak in and get the victory. Shakes, we saw Leeds against Brighton. Brighton getting a 1-0 victory, a well hard fought 1-0 victory because
Boy,
it could have been more.
I watched that game. Mapai scored in that game.
Yeah.
Boy, Leeds. I don't know. Leeds is either the score goals, like multiple goals, or to win a game, or they just concede goals and just lose. It's like a hot and cold thing with Leeds. They're good
But
today, they're bad tomorrow. That pitch,
but
you saw that pitch?
But
Yeah, that pitch
if you
was
look at it doing a shakes, I know that Leeds have gone what? I think around 4 matches in the league now. And they haven't
without a
won or
victory.
drawn
Yeah.
no point.
Yeah, man, they're on a bad run. They're on a bad run right now. But you see, he has a fit team, quote unquote. They do a lot of running, but the running has dropped of late. So they're not as intense as before. They're not getting as many chances as before. So right now, they've been struggling. So for the entire Christmas period coming into January, you realize that they have struggled because the games coming thick and fast, and you do realize that he doesn't really rotate his squad,
That's the issue.
right? So he's playing the same players over and over. No, for me,
Alright, hold on, Shakes. Hold on a sec. If you look at it, remember that it's these same players that was playing the championship,
yeah,
So
man.
if you've been running for 48 games in the championship, you come to the Premier League and still running. What do you
Yeah,
expect?
and remember that the season as in last season coming over into this season, there wasn't a big break. So yes, they were able to run for the first part of this EPL season, but now they're just in some headache where the intensity has dropped, the fatigue. So going forward, I don't, boy, they can actually be dragged into a relegation battle if they're not very careful. Yeah, because Bielsa for me, he does not change his style. He has never changed his
Never.
style.
Never.
Right. I remember when he was in France at Marseille, like they just got fed up of him because they realized that he wasn't gonna change his style of play and they just kick him. And Leeds, they have to be very careful. Yes, they play attractive football. Everybody likes to see pass and move. But guess what? Pass and move and win a few games, but don't pass and move and lose all your games. That don't make any sense. You're heading back straight to the championship.
Alright, so next fixture was Fulham taking on Chelsea. A match that Fulham played
Boy.
decent, and I expect they should have gotten more than that. But they were defeated by a Mason Mount goal.
You know, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in that player Robinson for that game. It was a ridiculous challenge when the referee was about to blow his whistle for halftime, like a minute later. Plus, you're making a ridiculous challenge when Chelsea not countering and Chelsea deep in their half. Plus, you're very close to the touchline. So there was you have enough you had enough Fulham players that could cover for you as the defender, right? It was just a ridiculous challenge, and that simple challenge cost Fulham that game. Fulham, quote unquote, was as good with 10 men as they were with the 11 and could have still sneaked a draw in that match because Chelsea, they were just poor, right? And they were just lucky enough to get a goal. But boy, as I said, disappointed by that guy, Robinson, getting that red card because he cost his team 3 points right there. They could have gotten a 1 point, especially because they have been consistent of late in
And
drawing
then
games.
yeah, that was what I was looking at, because before that match they had drawn what, like 5 matches on the bounce.
Five
So
games, yeah, they drew 5 games before that.
alright, so move on from that now, and we saw Leicester taking on Southampton, and it was a match that was billed as to be a tight match, even though you remember that Leicester actually slapped Southampton for 9 last season.
All right, so
Even though
that match, if you're a real football fan that loves entertainment, that was an entertaining game. To this day, I can't understand how Southampton has not scored a goal in that match, right? Southampton dominated that first half, like literally dominated the entire game. Well, yeah, they dominated the entire game, right? But guess what? Leicester just scored 2 goals. Barnes scored that second goal deep into stoppage time. Yeah,
yeah,
on the counter. But Southampton, once again, focal point. The lack
Danny
of
Ings.
Danny Ings being in that team. So Southampton, they were attacking, but really and truly, they never had anybody to finish. It was Armstrong one time that ended up in the box, and he
Yeah.
just didn't know what to do with the ball,
Because,
right?
alright, as I pointed out in the shakes, you know that Che Adams only plays well when he plays with Danny Ings.
Yeah,
Because he has that focal point up there with him to say, yes, we can knock the ball down to
yeah.
him, or him, we can rely on him to give him back the
Because
pass.
you end up with the players knowing where to be. They have the right positional sense, so you can get back the football. But if you're just running down
A
an
blind alley,
alley,
as they would say.
yeah, over and over and over, but there's no real end product. You're just wasting your time, and that is what happened in that match. Leicester just defended stoutly and took their chances. That's all they did. They just took their chances.
True. It was a
Right?
good
Yeah.
goal by James Madison as well, though.
Yes, it was. It was. It was a exceptional finish. But
And
the defender was poor in terms of giving him that
some
channel to
space.
run into
Yeah.
to make that to take that shot.
Next up we saw Sheffield taking on Tottenham, and a lot of people are saying that in that match we see arguably the goal of the season thus far. Even though to me it was pure luck by Ndombele.
Boy, a lot of people would say, did he really mean that? Because
What say you?
I don't think he meant it. I think he was just trying to hook it back for another player running on for them to score. But hey, guess what? He'll take it as a wonder goal, I guess, for him. But really and truly, that match was not. I wouldn't even say it was a competitive match. I believe it was like a stroll in the park for Tottenham. They could have scored more goals in
And
the game.
guess what? It was on a Sunday morning, so basically it was a stroll.
Exactly. It was a real stroll in the park. It was McGoldrick who scored that goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just like a little false hope. Tottenham completely outplayed them in that match. I never saw Tottenham losing that game.
True.
Plus, it's
Um,
Sheffield.
and then again, we're not going to waste any time on that
Yeah, we're
because
not
we
going to
expect
waste the time
Sheffield to
with
go down.
Sheffield.
So, all right, move on to Man City against Crystal Palace. We had hoped as United fans that City would have dropped points, but wasn't meant to be.
Boy,
But
I remember when I came on the Facebook page, I saw a lot of posts where Man U fans were hoping and praying that Man City would drop points against Crystal Palace or Crystal
it
Palace
wasn't
would
going to
end
happen,
up
man.
holding. That was never ever going to happen. Come
True.
on, it's Crystal Palace versus Man City and the rich vein of form that Man City are in. There was no way Crystal Palace could stop them. Liverpool put what, 7 past them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why Man City wouldn't score multiple goals
But
against them?
you know that the real highlight of that match was actually John Stones
Yeah,
scoring twice. You know
two
the man is
goals.
started
Yes.
for team as man is started for team as the English Maldini.
Yeah, the man. But you see, let me tell you, for players, a lot of players, when you play with, and it's the importance of a partnership. So if you're playing in a midfield or you're playing up top as a forward in a two-man forward line, or you have the two center backs, partnerships are very key in football.
True.
John Stones is not no world beater. But you see the solidity that Ruben Diaz
Ruben Diaz.
provides for Man City, it enables John Stones to express himself. It gives him confidence. So yeah, he hadn't scored a goal for what, 6 years? No, the man scored 2 goals in one game.
Yep.
And like almost every corner, every set play that came for City, he was a target man. He was a target man. Like, and I've realized that for about 3 games now. Like even when they played Man U, um, in the what was it, the EFL Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a target man in that game also. So he has ended up benefiting from that solidity
But all right,
with
shapes.
Ruben
One thing I
Diaz.
want to highlight also is that you see this run that City has been on. They actually noticed that they haven't been playing with a centre forward. That's
Yep,
what made
which
this
is why
run
I'm
very
worried.
impressive enough.
Which is why I'm worried.
Here you go. Because guess what? Remember that City started off the season very shaky, Just like United. Both of them started off the season very poorly. But gradually, you see both of them started to raise the bar, especially City, because they're 6 matches unbeaten now, without conceding as well.
I can
So
I can point out three aspects. Kevin De Bruyne has raised his game.
Phil Foden,
Gundogan is playing exceptional right now,
true.
and the centre back pairing is working for City. So
But
you
then
see,
again, Shakes,
although
what
they
else?
don't have,
You're leaving out one key figure to that run as well, because he has popped up with some very important goal at some times that City really needed a goal. You see, Phil Foden can't leave him out of the mix because I've
I
seen
would probably say he's fourth in that list in terms of importance.
Quite possibly, but he has popped up big time for them, man, because a lot of time they look daunting and
Yeah, but
wanting a goal. And
Phil Foden, no, that's why I say he's fourth because I believe he has the most goals in all competitions for Man City right now. Yeah, so he has been important to the team, but he has been able to flourish because they're not conceding one, and Kevin
De Bruyne.
playing some exceptional football.
And then,
Gundogan,
all right,
Marshall in that
like I
central
mentioned that,
midfield.
right? Like I mentioned that. I saw something the other day that they're saying that Foden has killed two birds with one stone. In terms of he has
Mhm.
replaced David Silva and Leroy Sané at once. Yeah, he's doing
Correct.
what both those players normally bring to City. Because
Oh, that's true.
I was looking at his heat map through the season, and he said the positions that Silva, the little pocket that he normally find,
That's what Foden is doing.
that's what Foden is doing. And then on the wing now where Sané used to occupy, he's cutting onto the wings and then cutting inside. So they're saying that he has been one heck of a player for them this season so
Yeah,
far.
but just talking about Foden, but even in the match today, against Aston Villa, that's where he was in the pockets and on the left wing, occupying those spaces. He basically just floats throughout the game.
You know what impressed me about him? Is that the man just have a knack for know where the goal is. As long as him pull back that left foot, bottom corner. If you notice that majority of the goal he has scored is right into the bottom corner.
Some
But yeah,
players, some players, some players are just intelligent footballers. So where they don't have the skill, the flair, they make it up with their intelligence. So they know exactly where to be on the field. They don't have the skill to beat a man, but guess what? Just that space, that our position that they occupy, they end up beating the player by literally doing nothing, just receiving the ball and being able to finish.
okay, so now move on to the final fixture that we saw took place this Monday, and we saw Arsenal taking on Newcastle. Arsenal winning by 3 goals to nil. Aubameyang getting a double, but Aubameyang also missed a sitter.
Yes,
And I was sorry that Moses is not here because
that
they're
was the
going to
talk
give me
of the
they're
town.
going to give me this long argument about oh it was difficult, oh it was this, he had a deflection and all that. Brother, the man missed the thing from less than 6 yards.
Yeah.
But point out this player though, Emile Smith Rowe has transformed Arsenal's style of play. And even Mesut Ozil I've seen lamenting the point that this man has brought something to Arsenal that they lacked, a real number 10.
All right. So I never really want to hit on the Chelsea people right now, but that's the difference between a manager putting confidence or having confidence in a player versus doing the opposite. So Smith Rowe does not have the greatest talent in the world. He doesn't have the best abilities, but guess what? He uses what he has, and his manager trusts him. There are many
And he's
phases of the game.
Shakes also what nationality he is.
Go again?
What nationality does he belong to?
Who? You talking Lampard?
Same Smith Roman.
What do you mean?
Brother, remember that you love bash the English players. I mean, I just pointed
Oh
out that he's
no, no,
also
no, no.
English.
Hold on. No. Oh, it's Smith Rowe you're talking about. No, man.
True, better
Remember,
one man.
I did say that 90% of the English players are not good. 90. But there's a
90.
space. Yeah, man, there's a space for 10%.
So alright, currently I'm going to name out a few and tell me if they fall into that 10%.
Yes.
Creative players, you know.
Yes.
Phil Foden,
Tick.
Jack Grealish,
Tick.
James Madison.
Half a tick. Still has a way to
What,
go. Has
what's the rationale behind
potential.
that? What's the rationale behind that?
No, has potential. Has potential. Has not reached to where I would want him to reach.
Okay,
So
Bouquet.
all right. So he's not the finished article. Let me put it that way.
Alright, so if he's not the finished article, right? Why did you tick off Phil Foden?
Phil Foden? No, man,
Mm.
because I can actually see the intelligence that Phil Foden displays on a football field consistently.
So you're saying that Madison hasn't been consistent?
No, not for me. For
Okay.
me, Madison has had spurts, plus he has had injuries,
Injuries
right?
has pegged him back a bit, yes. But
Yes.
alright, also do you put Smith Rowe into
No, not
that
yet. No, no,
10%?
no, 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 no,
Saka.
no. Too young. No, not yet. All
Alright
right.
then, boss.
Let me tell you something. You know why I wouldn't put Smith Rowe and Saka into it yet? There was a player once called Theo Walcott. Had
That's
talent in
loads of potential.
abundance.
That's an
Talent in
absolute Chamberlain.
abundance. Went to the World Cup in 2006. What happened to him? So many players, yeah, you can see the potential, but it doesn't mean that they're going to fulfill it. And you can't tick the box yet for them. Right? Somebody asking if I put
Rashford.
Rashford in it. My God. You see, let me tell you, if Marcus Rashford could actually develop a brain that works on the football field to go with his talent, his work rate, he would be an exceptional
Alright,
footballer.
Shakes, just
He's
like
too
the point on
selfish.
that. You know that me personally think that Rashford he's trying too hard to be like Cristiano Ronaldo.
He is.
But
He
I
is.
honestly think that he has the potential to master the art, and whenever I reach that status, nobody can hold him. But
I
let's move
agree.
on from that. Let's move on. So we saw Arsenal win 3-0 and about getting 2 goals, also missing a clear cut opportunity. And then
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal, they were always expected to win that game. Always expected to win that game. You remember the last game that Newcastle played? Like everybody was killing Newcastle. They literally came into that Arsenal game doing the same thing. And Arsenal, they have been improving because the manager has been putting faith in the youngsters. So yeah, they went into halftime at 0-0, but they came out and just disposed of them. Easy, easy.
and guess what? Steve Bruce has replaced what's his name? Chris Well at the top of the sack list right now.
I agree. He's at the top.
Man is
Even though
woeful, man. I remember that man don't stay at no club long either.
even though Sheffield are in a worse position, but for me, the type of football that Newcastle plays, it literally just drain your energy. You
And
just don't
I
want
always
to
hear
see
people
them playing
bashing. I
football.
always hear people bash Burnley for that same thing, and I'm like, that's the exact same thing Newcastle do. They just put Callum Wilson up there in a blind alley, as you mentioned earlier, around. Kick the ball, and sometimes the man get it. There's nobody for the man pass it
Yeah.
to. And guess what? Alan Saint Maximan being out with COVID hasn't helped them because that was the man who was driving them on last season.
Yeah,
From he
he's
has been
he's
out.
he's the only player that truly takes on players. He doesn't matter which team he's playing.
He's going to
When he
take you
playing
on.
big side, him just come on the field and just want to beat everybody, right? And he's been a big miss. But your team can't revolve around just one player
True.
where you just totally lose the art of playing football. And Newcastle has been like that for quite some time. For me, Steve Bruce should have been. Let me tell you something about managers. You see, Steve Bruce, Alan Pardew, um, Tony Pulis. The only
Mark
reasons these
Hughes. Don't leave out Mark Hughes either.
Mark Hughes, yes, sorry. The only reason these guys get jobs are because they are white. You see, anyhow they were black, they would have never been in a job. They would have never been recycled from club to club in the English game if they weren't white, right? Because really and truly, they are trash. Them can't coach, right? And some of them, I don't know what they're doing. Whereas in Germany, you see that you can see young coaches coming to the fore. You realize that you don't see that in England. And if
Don't
young
allow them
coaches,
one to come
and if
through, man.
young
And if
coaches,
you
yeah,
look at
this
it,
man,
you notice that majority of clubs abroad now is tapping into the German market for those
yeah, they
young
are.
coaches.
But German young coaches are very good because the young coaches in Germany actually come with a philosophy, come with an ideology where you can, I see this team, I see RB Leipzig, they play this type of football, Dortmund,
Mönchengladbach with Marco
right?
Rose.
Mönchengladbach. they play a certain style of football,
And
right?
even when Tedesco was at Schalke that season, you could
No,
have
but
seen it.
all these teams and managers, you can see a clear identity. In England, with the Pulises and Mark Hughes and Steve Bruce, every single year is the same thing. Oh, let's
All right,
just stave off
all right. One
relegation.
other second, Chicks. Would you rank Frank Lampard in that same bracket? Because to me, Frank Lampard coach one way. Fullbacks go down the line, cross the ball into the box. While this man has the players to play the ball through the middle of the park, yet fail to do it. Because, alright, to be fair to them, they do have the fullbacks. They do provide good crosses, but who do they feed the ball in? Because Chilwell is a decent cross off the ball. Reece James is a kid off a crosser
I
who
would
is
take
going to
Reece
get
James
a
over Wan-Bissaka right now.
better balanced player. But I'm saying that, would you rank Frank Lampard in that category as well?
All right, it's a match between Southampton, West Ham.
Mr. Chelsea. Shakes?
Oh, sorry, full.
Shakes, we're not here, bro.
Oh, you hear me? You hear me clear now?
Yeah, man, go ahead now.
All right, yes. I was saying the match today between Manchester United and Fulham. When the picture came up, as in the TV camera came up to Scott Parker, it came to me that, oh, but Scott Parker was a lesser player than Frank Lampard,
Better coach.
right? We all know that. But do you realize that in football, it's always funny that it's the lesser players that sometimes make the better coaches?
Always.
And
Shakes is a poor man.
I said to myself,
Shakes, so keep on chipping
okay,
and chip out, fam. It seems like something is wrong with the signal, fam.
oh, let me show
Alright, go ahead now.
with Fulham,
Yeah.
you can see a clear identity.
Shakes, the signal a drop, bro. Big time. Alright, so guys, sorry about that. Shake signal seems to be keep on dropping, so I'll just have to finish the show by myself. And alright. Alright, Shakes are here now.
Yeah, man.
Alright, finish what they're saying.
Yeah, that's flow for you. Yeah, man. So I switched to a different network. Yes, I was saying with Fulham, you can see a clear identity. However, with Chelsea, there's no identity. If I were to put Scott Parker as the manager of Chelsea, would the results be as bad? That was a question that I had, right? Because you asked about Lampard, right? Because for me, I believe coaches are supposed to gain experience, right? And Lampard, because of his status in English football, right? Plus he's white, he just waltzed into a job. Inexperience, and that inexperience is showing because he now has so many top players, quote unquote top players in the dressing room, and he doesn't know how to manage the egos, he doesn't know how to manage the talent that he has, he doesn't know how to set up his team. So for me, I'm not going to kill him in terms of you ask me how would I rate him if I would put him in that same category as the Pardews and the Steve Bruce. No, I'm not going to do that yet because he's still young in management. All those other names that we mentioned, they have been seasoned over and over and over, and we realize that guess what? There's nothing new. They're not bringing any player in those clubs. I'm not going cast that bad judgment on Lampard yet just because he's failing at Chelsea. I would wait for him to go to a lesser club, build his stocks, and then evaluate him later on. It's just not fair to him. to evaluate him right now.
Alright, Shakes. Time, that time is essential and time is going. So let's wrap up these two fixtures that took place earlier on today. So we saw City go. Well, Leicester went into the lead yesterday at the top of the table. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans came out celebrating. Yeah, Manchester United back down to where they belong, down the table. In less than 24 hours, Leicester was back into second place. Manchester City overtook them with a 2-0 victory. Again, as you pointed earlier on, Gundogan coming into his own. Also, Bernard Silva popping up with a goal, even though that was a lapse by Aston Villa big time, because I don't know what Mings was thinking right there. But then, within less than a couple hours afterwards, we saw Manchester United reclaiming the position at the top with a 2-1 victory over Fulham. I'm sure you want to beat Wan-Bissaka with a 2-2 before right now. Sure about that. Because Wan-Bissaka was very poor in the match.
Tyrone Mings, he made I think 1 or 2 errors before that error. And that is what happens when a centre back dwells on a football. That you see that exact takedown that he tried in that game and ended up losing the ball to Rodri. I'm going to go back to one match. You remember Connor Cody against Liverpool?
Man.
He tried that same foolishness to chase it or control it on his shoulder, and he just ended up playing in Mo Salah. Right? It's simple. If you are the last man, clear the ball. Allow your team to reset. Yes, you might not know the law of the game in terms of the whole phase of play, because he actually tweeted that he didn't know the law of the game right there, thinking that it would have been flagged for offside. But they actually changed the rule that yes, he might not have had control of the ball for say 2-3 seconds, but guess what? The ball landed on his chest 1, the ball touched his foot 2. So automatically, people might not like it, but it ended up being a different phase of play, right? So for me, he should have just cleared the ball. Either him head out the ball or kick it out. One big hoof out of here. But sometimes some of these teams, they like to, you see this passing from the back thing? They like doing that, right?
Well, that's where football is at now, though, bro.
Yes. So that basically kill him in that scenario.
But as I said, City went on to get a 2-0 victory and they went to the top of the table, and in less than a couple of hours, Manchester United played Fulham and Manchester United beat Fulham by 2-1. Edison Cavani on the score sheet and Paul Pogba with a beauty. It was a peach of a goal out of the left foot, man. Shakes.
A very good goal today. Yeah, man, a very good goal today.
He's starting to repay the $100 million since he's on the audition in.
No, let me tell you something. If you realize on Facebook, I've always said, for me, I consider players to be world class when you are consistent. Paul Pogba has ability. That has never ever been in question. However, you can't decide to show up. You can't decide to show up for 4 games for a season or 4 games in every 20 games. That don't make any sense, right?
Plus, for the people out there who tend to misunderstand what we Manchester United fans are
because you see, they don't like when we speak bad about him. When we speak bad about him.
Let's be honest right here. I'm saying we have never questioned the man's talent. What we have questioned is his commitment to the club and consistency. That's what we as fans question. Otherwise, from that, we know that arguably he's the most talented player at the club.
Let me draw a parallel, right? Now this is going to athletics. We all knew that Asafa Powell is a great sprinter, right? To today, he's still one of the greatest sprinters. But guess what? He just never showed up for the big occasions.
But it mattered most. Agreed upon.
Right? We have never questioned Asafa's ability. The same way we have never questioned Pogba's ability. We know he has it. As a Man U fan, I can't lower my standard. To please a man and to not criticize him. I want my team to reclaim glory. If I want that, I must want my players and my team to come to the fore. And I want that to be done consistently because guess what? The EPL is not a 7-game tournament. It's actually a 38-game tournament. So you need to be playing at least good football for 25 games. At least good football. Give me exceptional games for at least 5 games, right? Okay, no problem if you have some bad games for the other 8, right? But you see, if you give me good and exceptional for majority, I good. I won't have anything bad to say. But that's the difference between world-class players, right? And just players that have talent and ability in abundance.
Agreed upon. And with that being said, Shakes, it was a wonderful night. Well, you and I rode for most of the night because most
Yeah,
of the
man.
other guests were busy. So it was once again a successful live, and we reached what 20 viewers tonight because it was the first for a while and it was kind of unexpected. So thank all those who tuned in, and again, big shout out to Josh Carl. He was the one who made this possible. For those who didn't heard earlier on, the man worked assiduously to get this done. Overtime, triple time, and to be honest, Anthony Butler, this you need to link up Josh Carl and raise him pay. You need to raise him pay, man. You are going, as a matter of fact, Anthony Butler, you are gonna start pay Josh Carl. See? Yeah, man. And we also want to say shout out to our sponsor, Let's Care Medical. That is
Yeah, man. And next show, we're going to have the giveaway again.
That is LETTS Care Medical. Visit them at Shop 5 Juicy Plaza Mandeville, and the telephone numbers are 876 532 6095 or 876 494 8884. Again, that is Let's Care Medical at shop number 5 Juicy Plaza Mandeville, 876 532 6095 or 876 494 8884. And you can also visit them on Twitter at Let's Care Medical at yahoo.com. Thank you once again, and thanks to the CEO Shakes for passing through. Actually, Shakes is a resident analyst right now because once you call upon him, Shakes is here. So welcome to the family, boss.
All right, boss.
Officially a resident analyst. And
Thank you. I
I know so
accept.
your time is coming up, man, because I know that you're raring to go about the tennis and the Formula One. So don't worry yourself, man. Your time is coming.
Australian Open is coming up.
Don't worry yourself, man. In due time, man. Again, thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to all the commenters, and it was nice having you here. We'll be back very soon. Don't be surprised if we are back here tomorrow. Just ensure that you all tune in and be right here. Until then, peace out. Big up on yourself.